Now let's talk about the actual logistics of closing a sale and writing an application for a client. To write an application, there are 3 different ways you can do it. An e-application, a paper application, and a phone interview, and then a simple paper application. Before we go into that too much though, I want to educate you really quick of the application process from the insurance side of the company. The 2 main factors that insurance companies need is all of the client's information, and then they're going to run it through their underwriting to see if it's approved. So with a paper application, we take the application and then we would have to fax it in. So we have to wait to see if the client is approved. With a phone application and a paper application, you take the paper application on Notability, but right there in the house with the client, you do a phone interview and talk to an underwriter, and they will tell you if the client is approved or if they're denied, or if it got sent to underwriting for further review. With e-applications, it's all in one. So you're submitting the application and getting the approval right there on the spot. You don't have to fax anything in, and that's what makes e-applications so great once you're able to do them. And with e-apps, you don't have to worry about messing things up too much because of the fact they don't even let you advance unless you fill out everything correctly. But still, there's situations like when you first start selling, or if there's no internet or you're having iPad issues, where doing a paper application and a phone interview is the best option, or maybe just taking a flat out paper application. So you should have already at this point gone through the iPad training at the nasbsalesmafia.com/iPad training web. So you should have your calculator set up and all of your e-apps downloaded and organized. When you are closing a sale in the house, you've shown them the price from the calculator that you got from the iPad site again, step number 2, and you've agreed on a price with the client. Now you're going to take out that specific company's paper application and fill out all of the basic information, and make sure to get signatures and bank information and all that good stuff. And if it's your first time doing a paper application, make sure to send it to your manager so they can proofread it for you and make sure you didn't make any mistakes. If you are writing a policy with Mutual of Omaha, Liberty Bankers, or Americo, you can do a phone interview on the spot there as well. If you're writing a policy with any other carrier, you're going to have to just take a paper application and submit it after the fact. It's always best to get an approval done right there on the spot. And one final note with getting approvals through a phone interview, you need to make sure you completely fill out the bank information and all of the client's personal information before you call to get approved. Because if you get them approved first and then ask for bank information or their personal information, you've already given up your leverage of getting them approved. And now they can say, well, I know I'm approved now. I want to think about it. I don't want to give my bank information. And it's much harder to close the sale at that point. So always, if you're doing a phone interview, completely fill out the paper application, get all of that information, beneficiary, all that good stuff before you do the phone interview to get them approved. The final note here is paper apps and e-apps are pretty simple. You don't need to talk to anybody, but when you're doing a phone interview, and especially you're a new agent, all you're going to say is, hi, I'm here with Miss Johnson. We're trying to do a final expense product for Mutual of Omaha in the state of Illinois. Then you're going to give them your name and tell them that your agent number is pending. So my name's Joe Betterman and my agent number is actually currently pending. We were just trying to see if we can get the client approved. So that's the differences between e-app, paper, and phone interview applications. And if you have any questions on this, feel free to call your manager in the house. But the biggest thing is don't think too much about this process. It's very simple. You just need to get the client's information and see if you can get them approved. And before you know it, it's all going to be no big deal. We'll see you in the next one.